And not only this, but in the media, they will absolutely fabricate the entire sequence of events and twist and manipulate it such that there's no end to end of any of the entire event, and the Hindus are projected as if they were doing some crime. Again and again, we have seen how different land disputes or something or another is always being made to be projected as if the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and as if the peaceful sannyasis of Kailasa have been doing something wrong, and always twisting, lying, manipulating in the media to create and generate propaganda and program the entire public entirely to silence and confuse them, to make sure that they will not be able to say anything or take a stand for the public. And we've seen this even in the Palgar issue, which happened last year. Already, the media has had an agenda to defame, decharacterize, dehumanize the sannyasis. And when 2 Hindu sannyasis were handed over to the mob and brutally assaulted and killed, literally, the media later on simply was able to get away by saying that 2 thieves were murdered in Palgar. But these Hindu sannyasis were leaders and mahants of very esteemed Hindu organizations and ancient Hindu apex bodies. This is the reality of the crimes done against Hindus. This is the reality of what we have continuously seen against Hindus. And continuously, we've seen how this has been happening in the media, and continuously how the judiciary and the police never accept any kind of our complaints, and we have been unable to resolve these conflicts that are happening because of the vested interests of these anti-Hindu militant forces and deeply rooted corruption inside of the institutions that are at power. Finally, today, the UN Special Rapporteur for femicide for the UN has literally been able to recognize what has happened against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the women of Kailasa. And only due to that, today, we are able to find some hope in being able to continue and practice our lifestyle, the Hindu lifestyle. So I invite each and every one of you to take a few minutes, and you can share on the different social media platforms. You can share in the different social media platforms about how the UN has recognized persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. You can use the hashtag UN recognizes the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and you can go ahead and share in all the different social media platforms where you are active, whether it is YouTube or Instagram, Twitter. Make sure that you are voicing out right now. And you can, again, please use the hashtag UN recognizes the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And let us spread this news as much as possible, especially during this month of the Hindu Persecution Awareness Month. And during this month, you can use the hashtag against persecution as well. And this will ensure that we are doing our best, doing as much as possible in order to stand up for Hinduism and work to eliminate violence against Hindu women and work to eliminate violence entirely from the whole of the world. As you can see in all the visuals that have been being projected, this is a collection of just a few of the footage that has been taken where sannyasis, desperate to be able to capture what's going on, the violence that is happening against them, are just have shown us how time and time again, month after month, year after year, the attacks against us have not stopped, and literally being brutally violated, being brutally attacked by the anti-Hindu militant forces. And I can even share from my own perspective how in Trishulam, we were all literally holding on to each other and trying to protect each and every one of us from the attack, as they were stoning us to death, almost to death. And we're all trying to find shelter in a corner of our cabin and holding on to each other, praying to Swamiji that he would end this. And as you can see, the footage, literally, we were desperate to help our sister sannyasis as well. And ensure that they do not lose their life. In some circumstances, brutally raped and bleeding profusely. In others, having literally fainted from the amount of trauma that they were going through. These women were going through so much, and we went to the extremes to try to protect ourselves, and only due to the protection of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, even as some of us can say we are even alive today and surviving today. Time and time again, we have had so many different attacks, and I request each and every one of you to go on social media and please share the news, share that finally the UN has recognized the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and it's only due to the work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism that we women of Kailasa have a place to voice out what has happened against us. And I personally have taken the interviews and sat with more than 70 victims from Kailasa, women who have come from all different kinds of backgrounds, who are well educated, who are from orthodox traditional families, who decided that this life of sannyas, the life of being a Rudrakanya or a yogini, was the best kind of life that they could take up. And that was exerting their freedom, their religious freedom, and their freedom in the most supreme way. And yet, they were still subject to the most brutal types of violence. It is time. We need to end this. We need to end this violence. We need to end all forms of violence and ensure that there is no violence further. It is only the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who has created a place, who has manifested a place where in the community there's no discrimination, there's no intimate violence, there's no violence even in the streets, and a woman can be absolutely safe, feel secure in their whole life. And that is the power of the spiritual truth that the Supreme Council of Hinduism has been teaching for more than 2 decades. So I request each and every one of you to share in all the different social media platforms. Take a few minutes right now, and after a short break, we will be concluding this program for today with the power manifestation, and you can start manifesting Shaktis right now. So we'll be right back with you after a short break.
3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. Just don't die within next 3 years. Be alive. Somehow be alive. I'm working sincerely.
Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramashivoham Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadushnam Tattamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is power manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself explaining what is power manifestation.
All the